So this is my bunny, Adam. He's about now turned 4 years old. He was born in 2020 and he's had 2 lip surgeries due to an abscess, and I believe the abscess started because his front teeth were growing crooked due to metal cages when he was young. So I adopted him from my nephew and he was in outdoors, kind of a hut thing, and he had metal cage, and that cage he used to rattle on, remember, until I adopted him and he free roams in my house. This is his setup, this is his bed, little memory foam there, and this is his cover, and this is my bed there. He watches TV sometimes with me and rabbit shows and other stuff. So his food I just set up, his dry food and his wood pellets there, and puppy pads. And then this guy had 2 abscesses done, one in August and one in January this year, because the abscess on his lip travelled right back, and I'll put the pictures on as well, to inside of his mouth, and it was this size. You will see in the pictures, a bit quite gory, I'll pre-warn you. This guy suffered a lot, and I believe because his front teeth grew crooked. Now his genes are good because he's from a proper breeders. His mother and father and brothers and sisters, they have good teeth. Some of them do. Don't have good teeth when this. I've realised it's not to do with the breeder genetics, that's fine. In his line, it's due to when they are left to chew on metal cages is the culprit sometimes. If you know that their mother and father have good teeth and the genes are good and they're by proper breeders in the UK, and then it leaves to realisation that the metal bars they were chewing on, that he used to do a lot when I used to go down my nephew's and see him doing, is a culprit of his front teeth going crooked. And since the age of maybe 3-4 months onwards, his teeth has always been trimmed down. Now I had to, of course my vets did it, but I found them very expensive, so after a few times they did it, maybe once or twice, I started doing it because it was too expensive to take him back every 4 to 6 weeks just to trim his front teeth down for him to go level. So when I got quite good at it, of course you always keep it away from the bottom teeth because it has a blood supply, and the top teeth have a little peg, which you got to be careful because that can sometimes bleed. So you got to, I'll say I'm really good at it, but the only trouble was he never used to like using my Dremel trim, my Dremel device. Adam, okay, mummy's okay. So I got this professionally for my rabbit. It's a Dremel kit, and I used a golden tip one. So you can get a golden tip one. So on them, which I purchased, let me show you. Let me get it up. So these ones, drill bits on top, are diamond tipped, and I would do it a couple of seconds and let go on his teeth. So a couple of seconds and let go on his teeth, and it does it okay, but if he's still, that is. And I noticed before he never used to like doing that. I stopped using it because it was too slow. I'm going to be honest, it was too slow and it was causing him too much distress, so I used my clippers. The only mistake with clippers is they're good, they work fast, they work within seconds, like this device. That may take a couple of minutes. Oh, Adam, that leaves them a bit distressful. So that's the only reason. I didn't want him to suffer, but in the long run I will show you why you don't use clippers, because his front bottom teeth was and his top teeth over these past few years have been cracked in the middle slit going upwards up to the roots, and down to bottom to the roots. I believe that must have caused the infection for him to get the lip abscess, because they couldn't find on that right hand side. His teeth were all right, but on the other side they were rotten. They were too pulled out, but he still had the lip abscess for over a year. They couldn't figure out what it was. No antibiotics, no swelling tablets will get rid of abscesses. I'd like to warn people, you think they do, but in rabbits it works totally different. The only way to get rid of them is through surgery. Don't waste your time in antibiotics thinking it will get rid of the abscesses in rabbits or swelling tablets. Only way is surgery. And if you do not get it removed whole properly in the sac, like my rabbit, it will travel to the back of his mouth. It was on his lip, but it will travel into his mouth and into his gum, and a big lump, like a tumour it would look like, but it's not, it's just an abscess, the vet said. So this guy had it, that's his radiator when it's nice and warm. He likes to get nice and comfy there. He had it removed in August. Of course, he had, prior to that, 4 months before, 2 rotten teeth removed. The other vet, the first vet I was at, thinking it might be that connected to his swelling, was not. His lip kept growing, and then I took him to another vet because the first vet did the mistake of, I warned him not to take the teeth out, but because they were rotten they took it out, and you never talk to your assistant of the vets, even though the vet doesn't have time. Please talk to the vets, because the vet had no clue that I advised no teeth to be taken out. Malocclusion, fair enough, I would decide, but no rotten teeth, because I believe they can always grow out. And now for life he will have to times 2 or maybe 3 a year have his teeth grinded down, because if it grows into his gum, the top teeth, it's going to cause gum ulcers and grow into his gums, and probably cause more what's it called, abscesses, and it's going to cause more operations. So it's got, in the long run he might suffer. So that's why I say, try not, when it's rotten teeth, to get your teeth rabbits pulled out. Just tell them I'll put them on a better diet, and literally don't give them any treats, guys. Just have them on strict diet of the veggies, the veggies, the greens, and the hair, 80% most of all, to keep the teeth grinded and clean the teeth, the hair, because it's mostly this fruity stuff that will make the teeth, like any fruity stuff, that's sugary stuff, make the teeth bad. Well, that's another advice if anyone will take it. And this guy, like I said, the pictures I will show, they took in the August 2023, moved it from the lip, and then every month after that I've been going back to drain from the lip, because it just keep coming back and coming back. And then I noticed in December that his gum, I kept draining his lip. It was torture for him. He shouldn't dry a rabbit, and no one has to do that. I don't know why the vets kept saying just keep coming each month just to drain it, because they just stab it without any pain relief and drain it. So that's not fair on him. So he had it removed again, because I noticed when he smiled in December, his that abscess, I believe, must have infected it further, because they would clean it out, of course. They drain it and clean it out, but I believe it's travelled at the back, because if you burst an abscess, you don't clean it properly, which she didn't do on the last one. She just drained it. It took the pus out, but she didn't wash it out. I believe it travelled to the back and grew further, because I've noticed on YouTube there's a rabbit that had a little abscess on his leg, but it travelled all the way around his leg. So abscesses can travel, and they are in a cocoon like a coffin, where no antibiotics, swelling tablets can penetrate. So it's useless to use them, because they won't penetrate the thick, hard skin around them. On the abscess, the only way is just for removal. Now this guy suffered a lot, and you'll see by the pictures his lip that they removed the first time, and his teeth grinding, because I always try to get his teeth grinding done, because the first surgery, like I said, removed his two teeth, and his top teeth will always grow into his bottom teeth. And while he was having the lip surgery twice now, I told him just to trim his inside teeth out so he don't have to suffer again another couple of months time. Like a month or two later to get them done. But these are the problems you will have to face if you do not give the right stuff, right living habitations for your rabbits. And the front teeth, because the front teeth weren't growing right, it caused issues in his back teeth because they weren't maybe meeting together and properly grinding down or whatever it were. But the front teeth affects a lot of the back teeth, so be aware of that with how you have your the condition, the way you let your rabbit live in a hut with a metal wire in front, and not giving it hay, morsel, and always giving it more treats and more veggies or greens, pellets limit as well, and proper diet. They are needed for good teeth health overall, and generally gut wise as well. And thank you, and just give me your views what has happened with your pets, and if you got any views on these abscess and has happened to your pet and what you've gone through, because I believe sharing knowledge is powerful. And if I knew about this, I'm glad I got my pet insurance before any of this stuff happened. But with access, you still have to pay every time a treatment's done with this rabbit. See, if I paid 300 or 500 like recently again, second time, they take £75 access out, and they take the dental work out as well, because the dental work is not trimming down, is not covered by my insurance. Even though I got 2,500 from Agra, it is not really covered, all of it. So be aware, guys, you still have to have some money set aside, even though you have insurance. I know it's a bummer, it's sad, but that's the reality of our owning pets, is keeping aside for the dental work, because that's not mostly covered unless it's a gum disease or a teeth disease. Then it's probably different, because you'll have to treat it because it's infected. And if it's just normal trimming, they will not cover it. So be careful of that. And plus your excess of £75 or whatever your company charges, because Agra's good, I believe in UK it's number one, so that will automatically take 75. Don't matter if you put it on no access, they will automatically, it says on the website, they'll have to take £75 every time you take them for a treatment, and you claim for back from insurance. So be wary of these stuff, and have some money set aside. And another thing is, this is very important to know, so ask your vets when they do the insurance, because when they do the operation of whatever it is, abscess, when you go back in a couple of days or a week later, and first time I didn't have to pay when he had his abscess. When I went back, it was included in the price, but this time it wasn't included in the price, as I thought I'd still pay for the checkup £25 more. So be careful, because if your insurance has already gone out and your vets have done it, it'll be hard for them to put that £25 out, because you don't want a separate claim and then you're paying excess on that. 75 is going to sound ridiculous. So basically, tell your vets to wait until they have been seen after the operation, so that amount is also calculated in the vet's bill as well. So accessories in the vet's bill are not covered, like any devices they give you, anything like blankets stuff they give you. Well, I didn't know, I thought he had the pads and everything he needed, but they gave him some blankets because he must have been that wheezy that he couldn't stabilise himself, that they had to give him blankets, and they put that in the cost. That cost will come back on you that cost will not come back on the insurances. They will not take care of the special food that they give them, critical care, and the operation, and anesthesia, and nurse and stuff, but not for the individual stuff that they use for the rabbits. So be aware of keeping your costs down, and tell your vets in advance that, look, you want the costs that you know the insurance will pay, but any costs that are outside, that are like these little bits like blankets and stuff, and little devices and stuff that they have to have on them, or whatever it is, it won't be covered by insurance. So please be aware of that as well. So that might add on to your cost as well. And like I says, when you've been for your checkup after the operation, maybe a couple of days or a week, whenever they give you, ask the vets to do the claim back from the insurance then, so they can add up all your treatment from going there, getting that checkup first, then his operation, that fee, and the one that you have after the checkup. So all that can be in one group. So when that goes off, they can take that access off that, because it's going to be even harder, dental, whatever, they can take that off, and abscess or whatever. So it doesn't come up. I believe you're paying 3/4, in all honesty. If you pay £300 or something, 300 something, you're paying £75 accessible dental work if that's taken out as well, and plus little devices and stuff they add on. You're paying 3/4 of it mostly, that 300 something pound yourself, and the rest insurance base with 500 and something, over 500 something. I'll be paying 75 for access, dental work 68 something, and for the blankets, 2 blankets and other devices that you had, that won't be calculated into it. So I'd have to pay about 1/4 out of that myself. So my vet took money from me in advance, because they weren't sure my insurance would cover all that, because I said, can you just pre-claim? So whatever they will pay and whatever's left, I could pay. And thankfully, my insurance did that aggro, but I already paid, because I couldn't wait them to authorise it, and this guy was suffering, so he needed it done. I couldn't wait a couple of weeks for him to decide, so I had to gather the money off people I knew, family, friends, borrow. God, did I borrow. I cried and borrowed, and this is what I mean. Please have some money set aside. And this is my bunny Adam, and this guy, I don't know if you can see his lip, but let's see. Come on, Adam, show your lip. Show your smile, my baby. Show your smile, my baby. Show Mama your smile. So this is my baby. He's getting quite close. But yeah, I will post the pictures as well. And he's neutered as well, if you want to know. And see you later. Say see you later, Adam. Say bye.